Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today, I am going to continue working on my Aquarius teacup from Bella Art. I originally was going to work on this kit in February and didn't get to it, so I'm trying to work it in now. So let me zoom into where I'm going to be working, and I will be right back. Let me jump into my regular life. What's been going on in my regular life since I talked to you guys last? Not a ton. Last week, hubby and I went and played pickleball for the first time. It was difficult. I'm old and out of shape, but I was not the only old and out of shape person there, so it was all good. It was a mixture of mostly older people with a few younger people thrown in. It was a 3-hour session, which hubby and I both agreed we shouldn't have stayed for the whole thing, but they were teaching us a lot of stuff, and so we wanted to stay. We still ended up leaving about 15-20 minutes early. The coordinator contacted me and wanted to know if we were going to be coming this weekend, and I said yes, but we don't know if we're going to be able to stay the whole time, just because we spent was 3 hours on Sunday, and Monday, oh my gosh, the two of us could hardly move. Hubby actually almost fell. Well, he fell into a wall and scraped up his arm and bruised some muscles in his chest, so that was not super fun. I managed not to fall down, but my knees did not like me at all after all of that, which I knew going into was not going to be great for them, but it's supposed to be low impact. It's not as low impact as I thought, but it's not as bad as tennis. We did a lot more running around than we might have otherwise because we were new and trying to learn and how to hit and all of that stuff. So we weren't the most coordinated, but the lady that's the coordinator told us we could play in her group / league, whatever it is, if we wanted to. It was on Tuesday, and we're like, yeah, pretty sure we're not going to be recuperated by Tuesday, so we'll just plan on next Sunday. And one of the ladies that I volunteer with has her own group, and she has told me that once I learn how to play, that she would be okay with me joining her group as well. So I may do that, just since I already know her. But it was fun. Even though it was more physically demanding than I thought it would be, it was fun. We enjoyed ourselves immensely, enough that we're going to go back. At least I enjoyed myself. Hubby may be going back just to humor me until I get a group, but we even went out and bought our own paddles because the ones that they had were just inexpensive generic ones. I mean, we didn't spend huge amounts of money on them or anything, but we were able to try them out and see which ones felt better to us and that sort of thing instead of just using the ones that they had. So I'm hoping maybe that helps as well. But yeah, I enjoyed it, getting out of the house and getting to meet some new people, learn some new things, and be physically active. So, and they're saying once we get closer to summer that they will start playing outside, so that will be fun. So we're supposed to play again today. Like I said, I don't know if we'll stay for the whole 3 hours this time. They have drills that they run you through so that you can practice, obviously, and then you play games with the other people who are there. The only thing I haven't quite figured out is how they keep score. I haven't figured out when it's a score and when it's just a loss of serve, but I figure another session will help me out with that, and then I'll watch some videos, and we've at least got the basics down, I think, now. And this is just something I want to do for fun. That's one of the things that we were discussing with the lady who was teaching us. It originally started out as a fun game for families. It's kind of a cross between badminton and tennis and ping pong. Because it's become so popular, people are not, tennis is losing viewership, I guess, is the way they explained it, or they don't have as many people going into tennis. So some of the tennis people are moving over into pickleball, so now it's become like a professional thing. So some of the rules have started to change because they're trying to make it be a little bit more like tennis to accommodate the tennis people who are moving into it. And that's what we were discussing was that, I'm not interested in this to become a professional pickleball player or anything. I just want to get out and be active and have some fun. That's my goal, is to have fun, not to win. I'm really liking the ABs in this kit. Okay, so we played pickleball. We'll see. I've been really trying to baby my knee. My right knee, which is usually the better one, has been super sore. I don't know if that was from me overcompensating for the left one or if I did something to it or whatever, but it has just been super sore this week. So I've been putting heat and ice on it. I've been putting it up. I've been taking anti-inflammatories, and it's finally to the point where I feel a lot better. So I told the hubby, great. I mean, I'm glad it's feeling better, but now I'm going to go run on it to play pickleball. So hopefully I don't end up in the same spot where I was last week. I mean, it was almost like a sciatic type pain. It was clear up into my back. And I've had sciatic pain before, but never that bad. Usually when I get it, it's in my back and the back of my thigh. But this felt almost all the way up and down my leg from my big toe all the way to my back. Not fun. No way to get comfortable when I sleep or when I'm sitting. I've got the heating pad on it right now, so I'm trying to keep it loose. And I figure I'll take some ibuprofen before we hit the court today. Maybe head off some of the issues. My problem is I'm too competitive. I'm out there really running and everything when I don't need to be. It's not life or death. It's just a game of pickleball. Anyway, so that was on our agenda last week and is again on our agenda. I also this week ended up finally going to get my hair done. I had been going to this one place and I really liked the way the person that was doing it did my hair. I did not like sitting in silence for like 3 hours while she did my hair. So I went to another place that was recommended by my sister-in-law. I really liked it. It doesn't look like much from the outside, but the inside is decorated really nicely. It's very welcoming. I'm not the most talkative person. I am an introvert. I'm shy. I know that probably seems crazy for someone who's on YouTube, but that's because I'm behind the screen, right? So anyway, I went there and talked to the lady and I really liked her, so I'll be going back to her. And bonus, it was cheaper than the other place I was going, and I had a better experience. It's a little darker than I normally get, but she was saying, well, we're coming off of winter. You wouldn't be that blonde in winter. I mean, I'm not blonde. I just dye my hair blonde to cover up my grays. That's been the easiest way to do it. I guess not the easiest way. I started doing that because it lasted the longest, is what I guess I should say. Because then when my grays started coming in, it took a while to notice that my roots were growing in and they weren't the same blonde color, if that makes sense. So I feel like I'm going to have it done more often with this darker color, but I can always just tell her to do it a lighter color next time I go in. And it was faster too, so bonus there. We got home and my son was like, why are you home already? You're usually gone for like 3 hours. Yeah, I know. This one didn't take that long, so it was faster, it was cheaper, and I liked it better. Win all the way around. And I went ahead and scheduled my next appointment already, so I know when I'm going back. That's the other thing I was really bad about doing, was scheduling an appointment, the next appointment. Usually because, well, when I was in the States, because she was always so busy. The lady that did my hair only worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so only 3 days a week. Because she only worked 3 days a week, she was constantly trying to work people in around other people. So like if I was there to get my hair colored, then, I have to sit there while it processes, and she'd move me somewhere else so she could have the chair so she could cut somebody else's hair while my hair was processing to try and get as many people through as she could, which was fine. She's trying to make a living and whatever, but it was nice not to have to do that. So anyway, yeah, found a new hairdresser and I'm very happy. So the other big thing that's been going on at our house is all the dog drama. So Oscar and Sable were outside and they went to come in the door and Sable had something in her mouth. So hubby told her to drop it before she came in the house, and he raised his voice and it scared her. And she has been pouting ever since. She won't really look at him, won't have anything to do with him. She won't sleep on his side of the bed. She won't come take a treat from him. She is just ignoring him for all she's worth. She won't go outside when he calls her. To be fair, she won't go outside when I call her either. So we're back to where we were several months ago when the only way to get her to go outside was to put her on the leash and take her for a walk. That she'll still go do. So I'm like, I guess you're back to doing that with her until she decides she's not mad at you anymore. Meanwhile, you'd think Oscar would be fine because it wasn't him that got yelled at for once. No, he's mad because Sable won't come outside and play with him when he wants to go outside. We went out this week to clean up some of the yard in their little dog run, and we discovered that somebody, the neighbors, one of their balls had fallen into our yard, and Oscar had found it and was chasing it around outside. Now, he has balls in the house that we use to play with him, little toys, but they're his size. They're like the size of a baseball, a little bit bigger. The one outside is like the size of a volleyball or a basketball, and he's out there trying to chase it around, and he wants somebody to go out there and play with him. Sable won't go outside, so now he's pouting because he has to go outside by himself, so nobody's out there to play with when he goes out. So it's just been all the dog drama at my house this week. We'll see how long it takes her to get over her mad, but I was laughing because that night, sometimes she doesn't want to get up on the bed with us, or she'll wait until like we're situated and then get up so she knows she's not going to get accidentally kicked or something when we move. The other night, she woke us both up in the middle of the night because I don't know if she was dreaming or what, but she fell off the bed, which is something I've never seen a dog do before. Usually they're more aware than that. And then she acted like it was our fault and went and slept in the cage the rest of the night. But after he scared her, she wouldn't even get up on the bed until he was in it, and then she wouldn't get on his side of the bed, which is where she normally sleeps. Not that she wants to really have anything to do with me either. She's been my husband and son's dog since we got her. That's who she wants, not me. She certainly has her pout on this week. So yeah, all the dog drama at my house, like I said. I don't think I have any video of her pouting, but it's been ridiculous. Okay, I think that's everything that I wanted to tell you for my regular life. So let's move on to my diamond painting life. What's been going on in my diamond painting life? Well, as you can see, all the projects. So I am currently working on this one, which was supposed to be a project for February that I didn't get to, but I really wanted to get it done, and I already had it kitted up and everything, so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and work on it. This is not my main project for March, but if I can get some time done on it, then all the better. And it goes a lot faster than my other project for this month, because my other project for this month is my Heaven and Earth design, which is a ton of confetti. And I knew it was going to be, but I forget sometimes just how much slower it goes. I mean, I don't even have the multi-placing that I'm doing here. I don't even have this much multi-placing in the Heaven and Earth. It's just all confetti. I'm enjoying it. And I must admit, I did break down, I think I told you guys, and buy a light pad because there are just some symbols on it that are really hard to tell apart. Mostly the dark ones. There's like a black square with a white circle in it, a black flower with a white circle in it, a black triangle, a black spade, a black clover or club, a black heart, and just when you shrink them down onto the size of canvas, they're just really hard to tell apart without a light pad. I haven't used the light pad for all of it. Sometimes there's a section where it's enough that I can see with my overhead light, so that's been enough, but there are some sections where I'm like, I can't tell what this is. Also, the light pad is nice just in that if I am missing a drill, once I turn the light pad on, it's very easy to see where I'm missing a drill so I can go back and fill it in. Usually I do that at the end of my projects because I'm using an overhead light, so I don't put anything underneath it until I'm completely finished. And usually I've missed at least 1 or 2 drills, so it's going okay. A little slower than I would like, but That's probably true of all my diamond paintings. They all go slower than I would like. And then my other project is going to be my cross-stitch conversions. So if you saw the video yesterday, and if you didn't, go check it out, I kind of walked you guys through my thought process for my first, sort of my first cross-stitch conversion. I guess it's technically not my first because I did do a project from Diamond Dots using one of their patterns. But those are specifically made for diamond painting, so I feel like this is my first time taking something that was intended to be a cross stitch and converting it. There are formulas and things for figuring out what size canvas and all of that that you need that I didn't discuss just because for this first project, I'm just going to be using those blank canvases that I purchased and they're not very big. So I think after doing some figuring and printing out of more charts, I'm going to be doing the two that I showed, the Sydney Opera House and Stonehenge, and then I have Big Ben. I have a Mayan ziggurat, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and what is the other one? Oh, Greek Santorini with like the white buildings and the blue domes. So those are the 6 landmarks that I'm going to be doing. And I think after looking at the size of everything that I can fit 6 of them on the canvas that I'm going to be using, I think. So I'm going to get the first one put on, and then once that one's put on, then I'll have a better idea of where I'm going to be going and if I'm going to have enough room for everything like I think. And then once I get done with all of those, I do intend to use my second blank canvas from Diamond Dots and do that slow jazz project because several of you commented that you'd like to see me do that one, and I do plan to do that one because I really like that one too. Again, things that I have collected over the years, and with the thought too, oh, someday I'm going to do this, and then just never got around to it. So when I go back to look at it, it's like, oh, where did I get these? Someone also commented, I think, that they found you can find cross-stitch conversion charts on Etsy. I know, like I said, that Heaven and Earth sells charts. I think somebody mentioned that Diamond Art Studio UK sells some, or I don't know if they sell them or if they're freebies or what, but has some anyway. So lots of different places that you can look for them. But the whole fun of this for me is that, as someone also pointed out, because you're doing the cross-stitch conversions, you kind of open yourself up to all of these images that weren't available to you previously because the diamond painting companies haven't translated them and maybe won't ever because we all have our own personal style. So maybe something that you like is just never going to be something that is in the style that one of the big companies is going to mass produce, right? If you're going to mass produce it, you need something that appeals to a lot of people to make it worth your while to produce that thing. So I'm sure there's lots of niche things. And also there are things that maybe the diamond painting companies can't get copyrights for that the cross stitch people already have. And if you're converting it yourself, then it's not an issue. Like I said, I'm really liking how this one is turning out, but I am excited to work on my other projects. The Heaven and Earth, like I said, is not going as fast as I want, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, right? It's going to be confetti heavy just by the nature of it. So that's something also to think about too when you're doing a cross-stitch conversion. If you do something simple, like the landmarks and things that I've picked out that are just small little items, those are a lot less overwhelming than getting something that's like a full-size picture cross stitch that's been converted. Because like the cross stitch pattern that the flapper girl that I'm doing, the actual cross stitch pattern is probably a quarter of the size because you can make it smaller depending on the size of your fabric, which you can't really do with diamonds because the diamonds are just one size for rounds, one size for squares. Although I guess technically, are there 2 sizes for each now because Diamond Dots now has their little mini drills and they're smaller than the regular size drills. I've not done a kit with the mini drills. Has anybody done a Diamond Dots with the mini drills? I need to add that to my to-do list to find one that has the mini drills. But I think what I might do is get one of their masterclass ones. They're more expensive, but some of them are super pretty. There's like a dragon one, I think, that I really wanted to get. I think that's one of the masterclass ones. I'm not sure. I know several of them have their little mini drills in there. So I was curious to see how those worked. I don't know if they're mini squares or mini rounds. I think they're mini rounds because I think they're still most comfortable with rounds. Gotta say, the square that I did, I was not too impressed with the squares. Finding good square drills is hard to do, which is why a lot of people save their spares, because especially if you do a lot of like Diamond Art Club or Oraloa, companies that I know have good squares, then doing some of these cross-stitch conversions with those kind of drills, or even the Heaven and Earth with those kind of drills, would be really nice, I think. Because my first Heaven and Earth that I did, I bought the drills someplace else, and I was not impressed with the quality of the squares. They were very gappy, and I just didn't think it looked good. So using my spares, not all of my spares are great quality. Some of them I've saved from like budget companies, but some of them I have saved from like Diamond Art Club and Oraloa and some other places. So it's not nearly as gappy as it was when I was doing the other ones, which is nice. And I've been seeing lots of people posting in the Facebook group about their oldest kit. And I gotta say, it feels like a lot of you are very happy to be doing these older kits just as a way of kind of clearing the table or something. Clearing the slate, maybe, is the term I'm looking for, something like that, starting with a clean slate. Because several people have commented on, oh, this is a WIP I've had laying around for years and I'm finally getting around to finishing it, which I think is awesome. Because I know for me personally, having something like that sitting around weighs on my conscience. So I am also enjoying working on some of my older things and being like, okay, I'm working on this one. Some of these other things still maybe I can let go of, because your tastes do change. And after something is set on your shelf 5 years, maybe something that you thought you were absolutely in love with is just something that realistically you're never going to get around to. And that's where I've had to kind of make some of my decisions to be like, do I like this kit enough to be like, I'm going to do it right now? Or would I be okay letting go of this kit so I can work on something else? I haven't listed anything on Facebook Marketplace. I keep telling hubby I want to get some of them listed just to see what kind of response I get. I mean, it could be that there is nobody around here that diamond paints, right? Oh, that was the other thing. When I went to the hairdresser, I didn't have a chance to say anything to her, but she had a couple of diamond painting things sitting on her little shelf area. Now, I don't know if she did them or someone made them for her, but I didn't get a chance to ask her about it, but I will do that the next time I go in. Anyway, sidetracked there. Hubby thinks I should just hang on to everything, and then at some point when I've worked through all of the, I really, really, really want to do these kits, then I still have the other ones sitting around. And it's like, yeah, but if something's been sitting around for 6 years, the odds that I'm going to sit down and do it just to have something to do are pretty slim. I'll just find a different hobby, which I've sort of already been doing. Not that I'm bored with diamond painting or anything, but I've been looking at pixels, which is something I did several years ago when they first came out. And basically, they're sticker diamonds. So you diamond paint just like you would, but instead of actual resin diamonds or acrylic diamonds, it's stickers. It's okay. It was a little hard on me because I had to use tweezers, and that's not great for my carpal tunnel. But they came out with some new ones that are like puzzles at the same time called nonagons. And they had some that are like layered. I don't remember what they're called, but those looked kind of fun. So I was looking into those, and then I was also looking into, I saw somebody, it's like a coloring book, but it's like a diamond painting coloring book. They say it's a mystery thing. So basically you just get a page and it's filled with like a paint by number. And then instead of using paint, you use markers to fill it in and make some kind of design. And like the very first one that I did was the Great Wave. That painting, that Japanese painting, that's a big, I didn't know, it's a big tsunami wave. So it was only like 4 colors, but I only have my markers that I use for my logbook. I only have like 8 colors, and that's not enough. So I'm going to buy another set of my watercolor markers so I can color in my book when I want to. Because I figured those would be nice things that I could travel with that don't really require all of the stuff necessarily that goes with a diamond painting. I mean, a few markers in a book are a lot easier to carry around than all the stuff I need for diamond painting, or at least to get out while we're sitting in an airport or something. But I was getting frustrated because some of the other markers that I had that I was using because they needed the colors, the tips are too fat, so it was coloring outside the lines. It was making me frustrated. Anyway, I'm also still waiting for some of the stuff I ordered on Etsy to get here, so we'll see what shows up. I also have seen several people saying that working on some of their older kits, they're not going to be done in March, and that's okay because we don't have a diamond paint along in April. So if you need to carry along your diamond painting, your oldest kit from through March into April, that's okay. I honestly don't know if I'm going to be able to get done with mine in a month either. The Heaven and Earth may take me longer than that, but I figure between this one, the Heaven and Earth, and my cross-stitch conversion projects, I should be okay through March and April. We'll see how far I get. Formula One started this weekend, so I'm getting lots of good diamond painting time in. And then don't forget, in May, we're going to be doing our newest kit diamond paint along. And that one will only last for the month of May because then in June we will be doing DP for pets with our pet theme diamond paint along. I don't know what I'm going to be doing for either of those. I'm kind of torn. My newest kits would be a Christmas one that I'm saving for DP for veterans. So those two are probably out. And then the other two are both like ocean/beach themed. Ooh, oh, and I do have a flower one now that I think about it. So maybe I'll do that one for May. For May flowers, my newest one. Maybe. I'll probably change my mind 10 times between now and then. That's how it goes, right? I do like how nicely these squares fit together though. No real gaps. They fit in nice and tight. Because you guys, I get comments a lot about how do I diamond paint so straight? How do I get my drill so straight? They're not really straight. It's just the trick of the camera. I mean, I do okay, but they're not perfectly straight. And then I watch other people on their videos and I'm like, how do they get those so they look perfectly straight? How do they do that? But then maybe it's just a trick of the camera like mine. Maybe they filmed it 50 times before they finally got it to look the way they wanted. Also, I don't have big long nails. I don't know how people diamond paint. I don't know how people do a lot of things with those big long acrylic nails. I feel like you have to do things with the sides of your fingers because your nails get in the way. So cool looking as they are, that's not ever going to be me. I could put on some press-on ones, I suppose. But then I feel like I'd go to do something and forget, and they'd just break right off. I've broken enough of my nails. I went to go grab for something out of Oscar's mouth the other day, and I bent my fingernail backwards. That was not pleasant. And it broke, so I had to cut it off. Luckily, I did not break it below the quick, which was what it felt like when it bent backwards. But so now I got to wait for everything to go out again. I told hubby it's because it's been too cold around here. Every time we go outside, my fingernails freeze. We'll see how the weather is going to be. They've been getting some crazy weather back home. Tornadoes and stuff, which is starting kind of early. Usually tornado season doesn't start until April. It's not super unusual, but usually it's later. Nothing close to where my daughter is so far. I think it hit more of Oklahoma and Texas than it did Kansas, but it was kind of funny. I was watching one of my dead people shows today, my true crime shows, and it was about these people that had been killed in the town that I grew up in, and the people that did it are from the town where my sister lives, so kind of a small world. And then, of course, they were showing clips of the city where I grew up, and it was like, oh, I recognize that place. I recognize that place. I've been there. I've been there. It's kind of crazy to think of all of that happening someplace that I used to live, which, I mean, it's a big city. Of course, crime happens there, but after all, Kansas had a serial killer. I was going through trying to find shows to watch on Amazon on Prime the other day, and one of them was about serial killers, and I started watching it. And then I suddenly was like, well, I'm not watching this anymore. And my husband's like, why not? I'm like, This is about people who haven't been caught. I don't want to know there's people, serial killers out there running around. That's terrifying. Although we have watched a show about a serial killer here in Canada that turned out to be like a colonel or something in the Air Force. Crazy. Okay, I've gotten way off topic here, but that's okay. Right? You guys like it when I ramble. So I finished in all these flowers. I've got the little H's here, and then I've got this section and this section, and this is all multi-placing. So that will go pretty quickly. I'm actually glad I'm doing both of these because it's nice to switch from doing all the heavy confetti in the heaven and earth to doing this one where it's a lot more multi-placing. It just feels like it goes faster. So that's been nice. And I think once I get to my cross-stitch conversions, that will be nice too. So leave me a comment down below and let me know your oldest kit that you've been working on. How is it going? Was it an old WIP you pulled out? Was it a brand new kit that you started? I know some of you, it seems like, have finished more than one, so if you finished more than one, I'd love to know that too. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video and all my rambling. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Are you being oh so cute on your pillow, Oscar? About you, Sable. You're so pretty in the light. See? You can come here, Oscar. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. Sorry. Sorry, buddy. Hi, Sable. How are you? You back up. You guys are so close. You guys are so close. Yes. Hi, Oscar. What are you doing? Hi, Oscar. Hi, Sable. Yes, I don't need kisses on my face. Thank you. Hi, Oscar. You can go see what he's doing in the kitchen, Sable. Oh, did you need your neck scratched? I'm so sorry.